Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Ruth Ann's Creations and I am Ruth Ann. Today I would like to do a very simple tutorial on how I made my little mushroom peeps. I looked everywhere online and nowadays the kids like the fidget ones it's like really popular. The heads pop up. I didn't really care for those. I wanted just basic mushrooms. So I went on the internet. This guy's eyes look crooked, but they're really not. I'll hold another one in my hand. Ha! So there's many different mushrooms on YouTube. I'm just going to show you the way I do them. They sit up. You can make a taller mushroom head. You can make a shorter mushroom head. You can use extra puffy yarn and make it a really shrunken head. This is one that's my husband's favorite, so this one isn't going to be sold, but that's it. I'm going to try to film this. I hope it comes out good. This is my first time doing a tutorial like this, and I don't really have a good hanger system. If y'all seen what I'm going to use, you would all laugh your butts off. I have one of my dining room chairs leaning down against the table, holding my photo thing like at an angle over the table to see if we can do this. These are super simple. All you'll need to know for stitches is a chain, a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a slip stitch. That's it. Very basic. And because these are different, you can do them in all different sizes and colors, and hopefully with regular straight eyes. These will be bigger with the bigger the hook you use and the fluffier the yarn. If you use a worsened weight yarn, like a 4-ply, it would be very small. For this project, the supplies you need. Now this is where the individuality comes in because you can use any crochet hook you want. But this particular one, which made these sizes, I am using my D hook, size 3.15. And that probably didn't come on the screen, but maybe it did. A pair of scissors. A stitch marker if you need it. In the real world, which is not YouTube, but if I'm sitting in the living room watching TV, I just count because you're only going to be counting up to 24. And if you're doing a row, you can mark it. But I continuously like to count. I don't know why, but a stitch marker. Colors of your choice. As I mentioned, I use, or if I didn't mention, I am using the Premier Parfait Chunky. I'm not sponsored in any way. I just like the way it slides off my hook. It makes these little mushrooms kind of, not mindless, but easy. I'm going to try it again with some, I like to do some, use worsened weight yarn next because I want to do some camouflage ones. So you need one for your stem and one for your topper. You can use any color. For these, I've used this color. And for this one, I used a scrap of the brown that I had pulled out of a project. So basically, you're only going to do this much. So you can save your scraps and make them into little mushroom people because mushroom people can be different. So it doesn't matter what color they are or if they're made of scraps. That's what makes them special, I guess. For you only need a little tiny bit of stuffing. Like this is way too much. That's probably what I used on all of them. Or you can use yarn scraps. The top of this mushroom head is not stuffed. And I chose not to stuff the thicker yarn because it just sits on itself. So these are not stuffed. And the body is lightly stuffed. And I don't know why those eyes look crooked on camera, but they're really not crooked. I guess it's just me. Anyway, the eyes I used are 10 millimeter. They seem to be my favorite. They're easy to pick up. They're easy to see. The backs are easy to put on. I buy these on Amazon. I just ordered 360 pieces for, I believe, $6 or $7.99. And I'll have them tomorrow. And I just ordered them. Can't beat Amazon. So that's what I like to use. Of course, depending on the yarn, if I was to do it in worsened weight and it came out very small, I might use smaller eyes. But for now, I am using 10mm eyes, which are in my bag. These I bought on Amazon. And it's 100 washers and 100 eyes, and they're 0.39 inches. They're not very big. Well, they're 10mm, So we will need these. And the backs I accidentally spilt in my bag. So this is my crochet bag. I bring it everywhere. I always have safety eyes in there. I have a chalk pen in case one of my signs at the farmer's market. And then I have hooks, some little money, some backs, some stitch markers, and then a needle thing, but we won't need that. So let's begin. I'm going to use this. So let me get the camera in the right angle. I guess I could do it like this. Let's do it like this. Trust me, it might be easier. So this is not a written out pattern. I have found so many patterns online. I just took what I liked and smashed it all together to make what I like. And this is a total individual pattern. So like my bottom only has, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is only 11 rows. That's the way I did it. You could make it 15 rows because he only stands like 4 inches tall, 5 inches if depending on which store he comes out of, because you know they have the tape measure by the side. So you could really make this as big or as little as you want. So for this tutorial, to get exactly what I used, I did 11 rounds on the top for the stem and 7 rounds on the top. That's what I used. So let us begin. Again, use your individuality. You don't have to do it the same as me. That would be nice. Could all do the same mushies. So again, I'm using the Premier Chunky. It's a size 6. It's super chunky. I'm using a D size US Terms boy hook, because I got the set at the Walmart. I do not use a magic circle. I do the chain 2. And then I'm going to do 6 singles inside of that first crochet chain. 6 single crochets inside that first chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to pull a little bit tight on my chain, make sure that's good, and I'm going to pull that the chain of the starting. I don't make it very long. I'm just going to pull on it so that way I can ensure that my circle does not have a hole in the center. So now we are going to do 2 singles in each one for a total of 12. If you want, you can put the stitch marker in your first chain that you make, first single crochet that you make, if you would like. I am going to count out to 12. But if you're worried about chaining into the first, or if you're worried about single crocheting into that first chain, then go ahead and chain 1 and add the stitch marker. You can use a stitch marker, any fancy one you want. You can use a bobby pin. You can use a piece of yarn. You can use a diaper pin. You can use whatever you want. I do not have bobby pins or diaper pins. I do have lots of yarn, but I happen to be at the store, so I think I paid $1.50 for a set of 10 or 12 of them, and I've lost 10, 12 of them. I think the puppies grab them. So I'm just going to put that right on my first stitch, and I'm going to count to 12. So let's do it together. 2 single crochets in each one around to make 12. 2, 3, 6. I know, my stitch marker fell out. 8. 9, 10, 11, and 12. And you can go ahead and remove your stitch marker. And we are going to now increase. We want 18 stitches for round 3. So what we do is in the first single crochet, we put 2 single crochets in the first one, and put your stitch marker in that first single crochet of this row. Add that stitch marker. I will put it on correctly. So now we have 2, and then we're going to single in the next one. That makes 3 stitches so far in this round. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next single crochet, and then a single crochet in the next one. So that's at 6. We're going to do this so that we get 18 by the time we come back to our stitch marker. So we're at 6, and now I'm doing 2, and then 1, and then 2, then 1, then 2, and then 1, then 2. Oh, we should be at 18. I am back to my original stitch, I do believe. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I did not crochet in the last one. I am 1 above my stitch marker. This is real life. There's no editing. Crochet is not all glamorous. Sometimes we mess up and we don't put a stitch in the last one to make 18. And now I'm going to remove my stitch marker because our next row is also going to be 18. So we've made it to 18, so now we want to add a stable row. That's what I dubbed them, stable row. And all that means is that we want to go back through and add 18 more stitches because we started with a row, we added, so let's now let it rest. That's stable. So go ahead and put those 18 stitches around, and I'll be right back when I get there. Okay, so we've done 2 rows. We're going to do 1 more row of 18. So let's do it together. So we're going to have 3 rows of 18, which brings us to row 1, 2, 3. We're working on row 5. I guess I'm not very good at this. Row 5 is also 18. So I did 2 stitches, and I'm putting in my stitch marker. This will be our 3rd row of 18. So just to recap, we put 6 singles in our magic ring or stitch 2, chain 2. We did 2 single crochets in each stitch around for a total of 12 stitches. Then we increased 18 stitches, doing 2 stitches in the first one and 1 crochet, single crochet in the next one. And we did that repeatedly until we had 18 stitches. We then repeated 18 stitches 3 times around, which brings us to the end of row 5. Now, this is the bottom of our mushroom. You want to make sure your tail is always on the inside. So this is the bottom of our mushroom. So now we need to make it smaller, so it's like a mushroom, fat, and then it gets smaller. So we are now going to decrease. And by decreasing, that means that we take 2 single crochets and turn them into 1. So you can do that. It's very simple to do, and I'll show you. So we are going to put our hook in the first one, yarn over and pull through. Put our hook in the next one, yarn over and pull through, and we have 3 loops on our chain. we are going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So now we've made that 2 stitch 1 stitch. And then we are going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. We'll do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can add our stitch marker to the one that we combined, which is way back here. So, to review, we made the first 2 single crochets into 1, and then we did 4 single crochets after that. So we have 5 single crochets of this round 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Abracadoodle. We did it. So now what we want to do is we want to repeat that. So we're going to insert the hook in the next one, pull through, insert the hook in the very next single crochet, pull up, and we'll have 3 loops, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Then we are going to single crochet in the next 4. 3 and 4. And then we're going to decrease again. I'll explain it this last time for the end of this row. And the next time we decrease, we'll just call it a decrease. You can mark this time as a way to come back for further instructions. If you like the operator on the phone, you know how you call someone and you get that recording? Please press 1. I cracked myself up. So we're gonna go through the loop, pull up, go through the next crochet, single crochet, pull up. We'll have 3 loops, yarn over, and pull through. And then we'll have 4 left to single crochet in. 1, 2, 3, and hello, Buddy. And Buddy is my stitch marker's name. So now we have 15 stitches. So now what we're going to do is make a stable row. And that means that we're going to take out our thing and we're just going to stabilize those new stitches. So let's do 15. 1 row of single crochets. Which is 15 stitches. Not too bad. If you do these enough times, you'll be able to whip through them, I promise. If you hear noises, I have 3 dogs, 2 little toy terriers, and 1 pit bull mix, who sent my blood pressure skyrocketing, but has turned around. So now we have 15 stitches. So we're going to decrease one more time because our goal is to get to 12. So let's decrease. First thing I'm going to do is do 1 decrease and put my stitch marker in so that we know that that's our new stitch. Because I learned after the first round that I can't count and talk and be worried if I'm showing correctly. Might be easier just to write it down. I don't know. And then we're going to crochet, single crochet in the next 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to decrease again. 1 and single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3, and then if you notice, there's enough stitches for us to decrease again and double crochet in the last 3 stitches. And our stem is just about done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rows of 12 because now we've had the stem, it's coming in, we want to give it just a little bit of that top, bottom and top. So we're going to do 2 rows of 12 stitches, and I'll come back to you after 12 stitches, which would be 2 rows, 24 stitches. Okay, so we're back, and we have added 2 rows of 12 stitches, and our little stem should look like this. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make this base up under here. And to do that, we're on our last stitch. So now I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So I'm just going to put my hook in the next single crochet, pull it out, and pull it through my loop. That's all. And I'm going to chain 2. I am going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch that I slip stitched in. And now I'm going to do 2 half doubles in the next stitch. So now it should, you slip stitched and then you chain 2. And now I did 2 half doubles in the next one. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in each single crochet until we get back to that chain 2. So go ahead and put 2 half double crochets in each of the single crochets from the row before, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've made it back to the end, and this is where I'm at, and this is my chain 2. So now I'm going to slip stitch in that top of the chain 2, just slip stitch through, pull my yarn through, and finish off. I just pull on the yarn, and then I'm just going to tuck it inside. So this is what it should look like right now. A little tiny tube with the fat bottom, because that's why we did the 24. And then we pulled it into 12, and now we've given our mushroom petal base. And we just throw that in, because you won't see it. So that's this. We do not stuff at this point. We're just going to set it off to the side. Well, yes, we're going to set it off to the side. And now we're going to pick a top color that we want to use. I'll use red because I used 2 greens last time. And again, this is Premier Chunky. They do not sponsor me. I just enjoy theirs. I want to make some out of the, if you watched my other haul video, you've seen that I got some of the Lion Brand Hue in Me. I do want to do some sprites in that color, as well as some more mushroom people in it for the fall. I do have a couple craft shows coming up. So, sorry, now I lost the end. Great, no, it's right here. So now we are going to do our magic circle, and we want to put 6 single crochets in our magic circle. Oh, I just tied my knot wrong. Once we do our 6 single crochets, we want to do 2 single crochets in each of the 6, which would give us a total of 12 stitches. So in our beginning chain, we want 6 singles. I think most stuffies and toys in amigurumi, they all start with the magic circle, 6, 12, 15, 18, 24. I'm rambling. So it's going to be 6 singles in our circle, and then 2 in each one to make it 12. And I'll come right back with my 12. So now that we have our 12, we are going to increase to 18. So we will do 2 in the first single crochet, and we will put our stitch marker in that first single crochet to keep track of it. So we have 2 in the first one, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next one. And then we're going to put 2 single crochets in the next one, and 1 single crochet in the next one. And we're going to repeat that all the way around till we get to 18. My dogs all want the same bone. They should be running through here. Well, hopefully they don't, but they could. And that brings us around 17 to the last stitch is number 18. So now we have 18 stitches. we are going to do now a stable one. So we are going to do 18 more stitches around for one more. So let's do 18 more and I'll be back. Now we're going to increase again to get to 24. And if you notice, our stem is 24. We're almost done. So now to increase to 24, we're going to put 2 stitches in that first single crochet. And I'm going to put my marker on the first one. And then we're going to do a single and a single. I'm going to repeat that. So it's 2 crochets, single crochets in the next one. And then 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet. And then 2 crochets in the next one. And a single and a single. I like to think of it as now we're in groups of 4. And usually when you do your magic circle with 6 in it, all the numbers that you're adding should really be in groups of 6. Yay! And now we are going to do one last round of 24 to get that stable stitch. So I'll be right back with my 24. So now I'm at the end of the 24. I'm just going to put this bigger because we just have another step to do. So I pulled my loop out so I won't lose my loop. I'm going to go back to my stem. And now we want to put our safety eyes on. It's best to do it now. You can also embroider your eyes, or you can not put safety eyes on at all. Totally up to you. But I like the safety eyes on. So let me grab 2 bags. What happens when you spill a bag within a bag? At least they're all in there. So now, if I look at this, I can see where I ended. So I don't want my stitches on that, my eyes on that side. So I'm just looking at way the stem falls. I mean, it doesn't have to be directly on the back. That part doesn't matter. But I'm looking at what might fall the best. And I kind of like it, I like it here, which is like 6 stitches over from where I ended. But that doesn't bother me at all. So I am adding my eyes 1, 2, 3, 4 between rows 5 and 6, and this is just preference. You can add yours wherever you would like. You can add them 10 spaces apart. It doesn't matter. Wherever you think they should go, that's where they're going. They can be as close to each other as you choose. They can be as far away. They can be as little as you want. They could be as big as you want. You might have made your stem 3 times to decide if you use a big enough hook and super chunky yarn. You can have full-size plushies. But I like little things. So this is what my eyes look like. Now I'm going to go back to this. We're still not stuffing yet. Now I'm going to take my loop back and tighten it back down so I look like I was actually doing something. And I'm going to take my base and we're going to crochet the top onto the base. It really doesn't sound as hard as it seems. So I don't like to start in front of the face. I'm just going to pick a spot. And we are going to crochet we're going to crochet this on, which means we're going to put our hook in the next one of our top, but we're also going to go through the stitches on the mushroom stem as well. So we're just going to single crochet these guys together. They both have 24 stitches. So all I'm doing is I'm putting my hook in the next crochet loop at the top and the next crochet of the stem, and I'm just doing a single crochet. That's all I'm doing. Single crochet all the way around. It's just that you want to make sure you're pulling through the stem. Now, I know people are pretty quick, so don't jump too far ahead because we do need to stuff this. See, it really doesn't take long once you get going and once you get the idea on how to make them. This is the amount of rows I like. I like little things. In my mind, it works on like a theme of the day. Like one day I wanted to make something and another day I wanted to make something else. And when I do my video to show for the markets, I will show you some other things that I've done and where I've gotten some. I tried a bunch of free patterns that I got on Instagram, and where else did I get some? A Ribbler. So I'm coming around, and now I have a spot that's about this big left. I'm going to pull up my loop so I don't lose it, and this is where I stuff it. My preference is I don't stuff the cap with this thicker yarn. You can, if you would like, depending on on what you use. You can, hey, you can make this, that's the puppies playing, sorry. You can make this as stuffed on the bottom as you want. You want to make sure you use little pieces though, because otherwise it gets all yuck in there. I can't really define what yuck is, but see, I want, and I'm looking solely at the bottom. I'm not concerned about this, but you want it to the stuffness that you would like. So I want them to be able to stand. So to me, that's enough stuffing. And again, I didn't add any in the top. You can add as much or as little. I just like it to come down, so I'm not going to add any because it is the 6 weight, but you do as you want. Again, it's totally individuality. So now I'm going to go back to my thread to make it look like I didn't stop doing anything. And I'm going to crochet shut those last things, and we're almost done. So I'm going to crochet in the next ones, and we're going to go completely across until we get back to the starting point. I left 5 stitches open in case anyone wanted to know. That was enough to get my finger in there. That's all you really need. So now, this is what we have, but he's not quite done. What we want to do now is to do a single crochet in each one of the ones that we just did. So he has more of a little cuff around his hat. So let's do one more round of single crochets around that last row, and it should be 24. So do your 24, I'll do my 24, and I'll be right back. So now I'm back in my 24, and all I'm going to do is slip stitch into the next one and finish off. Pull on your strand so it's nice and tight, and then I just take my hook, or you can take your tapestry needle, and I just pull it through the cover or the topper until I don't see it anymore. And if you want to finish it off a different way, again, individuality. There. And then, just like that, we have our little mushroom person. You can also add little things, or maybe a little charm or something up here, or you can stuff his hat, whatever you want. But terrible camera angle. Thank you for joining me, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye for now.